Hello and welcome to Hank Games Without Hank. My name is John Green. I'm the manager of the Swindon Town Swiddly Poopers, and today we are in the Europa League. Who would have thought? Swindon, tiny Swindon, playing all the way in some town, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to win. We're going to try our best to win, but we are not starting our A team. Why not? Well, because we didn't have access to Mr. T. No, because there was some sass in the locker room after yesterday's game, and I don't take kindly to sass. Other John Green told me that I wasn't doing a good job of pressing the Y button at the right time, and that he was going on run after run after run after run and not being rewarded, to which I said, I think that I will start Stone Cold Steve with a C Austin and McGoldrick in your place and see how you like them apples, sir. Just to remind them who's manager. But generally, I haven't been real pleased with look, our results have been a lot better than they were last season. There's no doubt about it. But the team is bigger than any one individual, and I feel like the egos were getting a little bit out of control. And I just wanted to remind all the players where we come from and who we are. And a big part of who we are is guys, like Sir Swoodly Pooper Cuthbert, like Ginger Rampage, guys who've been on the club for a long time. And so I just wanted to give them a start. Plus the other guys were tired, I'm going to be honest with you. Today, hold on, pass. Yes, I like it. I like it. Just go, yep. And then to McGoldrick. Not quite. Not a little like that, but different next time. Yeah, so that's the update on the Swindon Town Swoodly Poopers. Today I'm going to talk to you about Philippa Foot's Trolley Problem. One of the most upvoted things was if I could talk about the original ending of The Fault in Our Stars. It's hard to talk about the original ending of The Fault in Our Stars without spoilers, but those of you who have read The Fault in Our Stars know that Philippa Foot's Trolley Problem makes a very brief, that wasn't offside, ridiculous. I mean, if a guy's not allowed to stand a little bit offside, I don't even know what the point of playing the game is. You'll know that if you've read The Fault in Our Stars, you'll know there's a very brief reference to the trolley problem in the novel. And it's sort of a passing reference, a throwaway reference now. But that was once the center of the book, certainly the center of the ending of the book. So I thought I would talk about the trolley problem and why I find it interesting as an ethical problem, and why I once thought that it was so metaphorically resonant that it could end the book in the stupidest possible way. I will say that I can't even tell you the original ending of the book. It's so embarrassing and obvious and terrible, but someone was tied to railroad tracks. That's all I'll say. Oh God, I'm so embarrassed. Anyway, this just goes to show you, bad writers and good writers alike often write very poorly, and that, thank God, is why there are editors. So here's the trolley problem in essence. So let's say there's this crazy person, and the crazy person has tied 5 people to the tracks. And there's a runaway trolley that is going to come and kill these 5 people. By the way, I'm paraphrasing. This may not be the trolley problem exactly as Miss Foot laid it out, but anyway, it's like this. The underlying issue is the same. Are you going to say, who committed the oh, it was an offside issue. Yes, when they're offside, they're definitely offside. Yeah, 5 people tied to the tracks. There's this runaway train that's going to kill them all. But you happen to be standing near a switch, and that switch can change the fate of those 5 people. If you flip the switch, it will change the runaway trolley so that instead of, oh, I gave up a goal, to Smolders. He's smoldering. I want Smolders on my team. He's great, and I like his excited. That's nice stuff. I mean, Smolders. Might have to put in some of the A team here. The other thing to bear in mind though is that we're doing really well in Europe, and we only have to qualify for the knockout rounds, and pretty much 1 or 2 more points in our 3 remaining competitions should guarantee us qualification to the knockout rounds. So this isn't so important. Obviously, we want to win all our games, but we don't want to win all of them equally. League form is really important to us, and obviously we want to win all of our competitions, but we want to do it in a smart way. So just bear that in mind. It's all strategic. It's all part of the game. That was a nice little ball. There wasn't enough on it, but it was a good idea. So you can change the history of these 5 people by flipping a switch, and instead the runaway train will go onto a different track. Unfortunately, that track has 2 people tied to it, and you will feel more directly responsible for those 2 people. I think in the original Trolley Problem, like those 2, you can see those 2 people, and they're looking at you and asking you not to kill them, and the 5 people are kind of anonymous. Anyway, in that situation, almost all humans react in the exact same way. Obviously, when they did the Trolley Problem, they didn't tie people to the tracks. They found other ways to study the psychology of this. Almost all people react in the exact same way, which is that they don't flip the switch. Because that makes you an active participant. That's an active decision versus the passive decision of not flipping the switch. Oh, it's a tie game thanks to Wellington with his first ever goal. It's Wellington. Boots. I don't even have a song about Boots Wellington. I wish I did. He's great. He might be. Some say he's the new one size fits all, but I say one size fits all is the new one size fits all. Anyway, congratulations to Boots Wellington on his first goal as a Swindon Town Swoodly Pooper. Hi, Stan. How are you?
I'm good.
Everything going all right?
Yes, I'm going to go upload this again.
What are you going to go upload? Oh, the Menofloss thing. Right. Okay, cool. Oh, no goal. Great job, boys. So congratulations to Boots Wellington. Great stuff. And now we have the whole second half to try to win the game, which I like. I like it. I like everything about what's happening right now. All right, we got another corner right here at the end of the half. Can Boots Wellington get his second goal? He's there. Oh, it's cleared off the line. Boots Wellington is a force in there. I like him. I like everything about that guy. Always have. Great throw in. Great stuff. Beautiful. Congratulations, Swoodly Poopers. All right, it's 1-1. Sure. It's 1-1 going into the second half. And, yeah, so anyway, that's the Trolley Problem. And almost all people react to it the same way, which is that they don't want to become active participants in the death of a few people, so they become passive participants in the death of many people. Well, this has all kinds of like interesting ethical complications when you're thinking about what our ethical responsibilities are to each other, and you know why, and the sort of the so-called banality of evil, the way that you know, our passive decision making, our passive tacit allowance of evil, participation in evil systems seems less morally problematic to us than, you know, active participation in evil systems. You know, I think a lot about, oh, how is that a foul? By the way, McGoldrick has a nickname. His name is D. McGoldrylocks. Thank you to the nerd fighter who came up with that one. Swindon Town Swoodly Pooper supporters always come up with the best nicknames. I realize why I like the name Boots so much for Wellington, which is that Dora the Explorer has a friend named Boots, and he's adorable. And it's pretty much about that. Henry has a Boots book, a book about Mr. Boots that he's a big fan of. I think it's kind of a stupid book, but you know, my vote doesn't count for much when it comes to that stuff. Oh, I disagree. All right, I think I gotta make one offensive substitution here. No, I don't want to. Okay, so this is my question for you. In that situation, what do you think is the right thing to do, and what do you think you would actually do? Because I think what you might find is that what you think is the right thing to do is not necessarily what you would actually do, which is something I find to be a really interesting problem. That a lot of times we don't act in the way that that we think is the most moral way to act. That really fascinates me. How a lot of times we know the quote-unquote right thing to do, but we still choose not to do it. For instance, participating in, you know, in the overuse of non-sustainable resources. Now, you may or may not believe, well, I don't think there's much of a scientific argument here, but like, regardless of what you think about climate change or anything like that, there is no question that the resources that we are utilizing on our, you know, to fund and make possible our lifestyle, those resources are not infinite, and they are not used right now in a sustainable way. There's no room for sustainable growth. Like for instance, there's no possibility that every adult on Earth could have a car. That would be very, very bad. Everyone agrees that would be Ricardo Bunsen-Burnett. I expect more out of you. Thank you. That second save was better. Everybody agrees that it would be very, very bad, but at the same time, we all feel entitled to our cars, even though we know that not everybody can have a car. And that, that's just one very small example of the way that, the million ways that we passively do things that are not good for ourselves or for our, maybe make our lives easier, but at the expense of the health of the system, the health of the species, the health of the biosphere or whatever. There are lots and lots of examples of that, and the trolley problem nicely sort of elucidates one of the sort of factors in human psychology that leads to those decisions. That was overall a nice little piece of play, and Ball John Green is proving himself to be a much improved player, particularly when it comes to his work on the ball. Context is everything. But I'd really like to win this game. And that's not how you do it, guys. Come on. And that was a really late tackle. I wouldn't be surprised if that gets me a yellow card. I deserve it. I agree. Not Perry's best moment. Perry's best moment, of course, that amazing goal that he scored in the FA Cup final in 2010. What a great moment in Swoodly Pooper history. If you weren't in tears at the end of that, you don't have a heart. What a great stuff. I mean, just really genuinely heroic. I don't want to overstate the matter, but it was pretty special moment. He's a platypus. He'll always have a place on our team as far as I'm concerned. All right, it's the 75th minute. We're tied 1-1. DeSmet just came on, and we're going into attack mode because we're the Swoodly Poopers and we like to win. Well, we like to draw, but we like to win too. So, yeah. What do you think you would do, and what do you think is the right thing to do? Do you think that you could look those people in the eye and say, like, I'm sorry, but I ran the numbers and you're not supposed to live? Or do you think you could not do that? I don't think I could do it, to be honest. I think I'm like most people, and I would do the passive thing and hope that the trolley somehow hit a patch of, I don't know, something that caused it to derail so that no one died, and then I wouldn't have to feel guilty, and that's what I would end up doing. So I was so interested in this whole trolley problem and all of the many metaphorical implications of it when I was writing the first draft of the book that I got way too into it, and I was being a little bit like Peter Van Houten, actually, in that I was trying to avoid my feelings by hyper-intellectualizing something. That's something that a lot of people do, but I do a lot. So I ended up including it in the book in a very, very different context, because in the first draft of the book, it was like really important to the whole story and at the center of everything, and it didn't work emotionally, and it wasn't true to the characters. There were so many versions of the end that didn't work for various reasons. But the most important thing to me is that it be true to the true to the experience of the story. Ricardo Bunsen-Burnett. Oh wow, preserving the point for the Swindon Town Swoodly Poopers in the 90th minute in a breakaway. Ricardo Bunsen-Burnett. Congratulations to the Swoodly Poopers. I'm pleased with that result. Boots Wellington gets his first goal. Sorry, I keep saying it with a G, but I don't. Boots Well-Intentioned gets his first goal. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Best wishes.